Hello, everybody. How are you all doing today? This is Dorothy, and this is Dorothy's blog. Today, I'm going to tell you another funny story. This story is when I lived in a haunted house. Yes, this was a house I rented from a Nigerian man who happened to be a pastor too. When I rented that house, it was a two-bedroom house. It was a whole house, but he splitted it into four apartments of two bedrooms each. So I was on one of the bedrooms upstairs while other people lived downstairs. This house was not really comfortable for me because the kitchen sink was clogged from the day we moved in till we moved out. We were there for like close to 9 months, and the landlord refused to fix the kitchen sink. And I kept telling him about the sink, but he wouldn't do anything. So I would fix it, and then within 2 days it would clog back. This was like a problem with the pipe. So this continued, and because of that, I started looking for a place to stay. I didn't feel like staying there for a long time. But in between that time, I noticed that some things were, you know, happening in my apartment. Like, like I was saying, things were happening in the house. Sometimes I'll come back and see water in the tub. I'll see things, some things, just moved in the house. So I was still thinking of what this could be until my neighbor downstairs called me and she asked me, she said, Sister, is somebody there with you in your house? I said, No, nobody's in my house. She said, Well, most mornings we notice, we hear sounds from your house, like people walking around and talking and everything. And I said, No, there's no visitor with me. So this kept happening. So at a point, I complained to the landlord. I said, Sir, I don't know what is happening in my apartment. People come there when I'm not there. He said, Oh, don't worry. It's just that place is haunted. I'm like, Haunted? How can it be haunted? So this man said that the apartment was haunted. So I asked my neighbor downstairs, I said, Do you notice that too? She said, No. Though she worked from home, so she didn't really leave her home. But she said, No, that these people constantly come to your house. Constantly comes to your house. I don't know if she knew it was someone I don't know. But she just told, I don't know if she knew the person, but she told me she didn't know the person. So this continued happening until one day I went to work and my car developed a problem. So I had to tow my car to a mechanic. So the next day I left for work late. I took permission from my director because the mechanic said the car would be ready around 12:30 the next day. So I took permission from my director so I could stay home and then just go pick up my car and go to work. So that morning, we got ready around 12 o'clock and we were about to leave the house when the doorknob just moved. So I and my children were scared. Who was turning the key? Before we knew anything, the door opened and it was the landlord standing right there in front of my door. And I was like, Why? What are you doing here, sir? What is the problem, sir? He said, Oh, I'm sorry. I was just in the neighborhood and I felt pressed, so I wanted to come and use your bathroom. I said, But why would you do that, sir? I've been I've been telling you that someone keeps coming to my apartment. You told me the apartment is haunted. So you are the one that's been coming here. He denied everything. He said, No, this is the first time I will come. I've not been coming here. I'm sorry. And then he left. Before he left, I begged him. I said, Okay, sir, I'm going to change the key to this apartment. He refused. He said, You have no right to change the lock in my house. I am the landlord. I have the right to have the keys. So he left. When he left, I went to work, but then discussed, I told one of my co-workers about it. And she said, No, go and report him. Go and get restraining order against him. So that was what I did. That evening, when I left work, I went straight to the courthouse in Hyattsville and I got restraining order against him. So 7 days later was our trial day. So we went to court for the trial. When we got there, the judge asked him why he was coming to my apartment. First of all, he denied. He said it was a ghost, and everybody had a good laugh over it. Like, how can you say it's a ghost? So eventually, he agreed that yes, he came to my apartment. It was once. And I told the judge, no, it's not once. I've been talking to him for the past for almost 5 months now about people coming to my apartment. And he wasn't coming alone, guys. He was coming with a woman. Though that morning there was nobody standing with him, but I think he comes and then the woman comes to meet him later. That's what I think. But for sure he comes there with a woman, because the tenant downstairs said that there are 2 or 3 people in the house every day. So the judge ordered that I should live in the house rent free until I get a place, and also ordered him never to come to the house until I leave the house. So as soon as I got that judgment, I was so happy. But then I started looking for a place immediately, because I know my story in Maryland. I know anything before I know it, the people will turn it to another story, and it will become another story of me trying to, harass somebody's husband. So because of the way people talked about my case, I always like to shy away from making any trouble. Anything that would lead me to police or anything with my fellow Nigerian, I always try to shy away from it. So I didn't want to stay there. I didn't want to stay there like for a month or so. I started looking for a place. And God so kind, I got a place less than 2 weeks after that. I got another place owned by a Nigerian. All those time I always rent from Nigerians. I had no choice because I had no credit, I had nothing. So I had to always rent from people, without having a contract. So I got another house from a Nigerian, a better place this time. I never had a problem with that man. Never. He was actually the last place I left before I rented a whole house to start my first daycare. So this is the story of how I lived in a haunted house, and it still baffles me up till today, because this man was a pastor. As a matter of fact, he still has his church, and I wonder why he would do that. I just wonder why. He has a beautiful house, a wife. He has a better home. He lived not too close to where I lived, because I normally take my rent to his house. So he lived not too far from me. He lived in a whole building. So you live not too far. So why would you not go to your house to use the bathroom? Why would you come to my house to use the bathroom? But we all know that was a lie. He came there with a woman. So that's the story of how I lived in a haunted house here in Maryland. I'm going to stop the story here. I have another story to tell, but that will be tomorrow. But before then, I just want to say thank you to all of you that have been watching my videos. I truly appreciate you. And a lot of you have been asking questions about my daughter, what is going on. I just want you to know that things are going the way they should go. You can see that I'm happier because things are going the way they should go. And that is why I'll still implore you to help me in my GoFundMe. Please, nothing is too small, nothing is too much. I just want to make sure I do this and get the justice that my child needs. But so far, so good. God is in control. Thank you so much for watching me today. I truly appreciate you. Until next time, this is Dorothy, and this is my story. Have a great day.
Chimarobimo, Chukunebi, oh God of war, Chimarobimo, fight for me, set my heart free. Oh God of angels, oh God of war, Yaloro Moko, Chama. I never knew a pain like this could ever exist until they took my joy and hope. Oh, my baby girl, they said my baby chose the night and took her whole life away. When I saw the bruise and saw the pain, that's all the lie. I know that's all the lie. Oh God of war, fight for me, set my heart. Chama, may the judgment fall
Chama.
on the enemy. Fight for me, take the pain away.
Ibo akunere
Judgment fall on the enemy.
China norumaku
Fight for me, take
Chimaro.
the pain away.
Akunere
Judgment fall on the enemy. Fight for me, take the pain away. Judgment fall on the enemy.
Chama nyamili Chimo Chama